So hello guys and welcome to episode 8 of our Alpine save here on F1 Manager 23. Now if you didn't watch last week's episodes, go back and watch those, but Monte Carlo, it was a little bit of a procession. We didn't get the strategy bang on, and it did mean that unfortunately one of our cars finished outside of the points. That car was Pierre Gasly. Esteban Ocon got some points in P9. Carlos Sainz won the Monaco Grand Prix, followed by Verstappen and Perez, but Carlos Sainz was very much in a league of his own in Monaco. What does that mean for the standings? It means that for the constructors, Red Bull are only, what we got, around 30 points, 28 points in front of Ferrari. Aston Martin in P3 at the moment, Mercedes in P4. We are comfortably in P5, but one race could change things dramatically for Williams, Haas or McLaren, and obviously they are going to be developing the car just as much as we are. Driver standings wise, Max Verstappen is leading, but only by 30 points. Carlos Sainz, his closest challenger, but there are 4 cars very much in the driver's title race. 2 of them are Ferraris and 2 of them are the Red Bulls. It's going to be a very interesting season if it carries on the way it started. This weekend we go to the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona. 66 laps round here. 50% historic safety car chance. Now, if we have a look at the expected strategies, it is a 2-stop from softs, medium, soft, or maybe the hards can get involved as well. So we'll have to do a lot of practice and decide which tire compound, suit ours. Car attributes wise, acceleration, low and medium speed cornering, absolutely paramount around here. Just to bring you up to date on the developments, we've got 2 designs coming through, possibly in time for the next race. The front wing certainly will be in 2 days' time. That's going to be ready, and then the underfloor as well. So the car will be improving. I know it's been a lot of 9th and 10ths and 8ths and 9ths at the moment, but we are building slowly towards the front. We will get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. But let's see what we can do at the Spanish Grand Prix. I'm going to get through practice, and I'll see you in qualifying.
The session will be divided into Q1, Q2 and Q3. With the slowest 5 drivers eliminated from each period, their best times will determine the grid for the upcoming race.
Esteban Ocon there, Karun. What's the feeling around him at the moment?
Neither of the team's drivers have brought home many points so far, so they'll be looking to change that as soon as possible to prove their worth on track.
What does today have in store? Only time will tell.
Disappointing news for Pierre Gasly. He is out in Q2, just on the button. 11th on qualifying in Q2. So disappointing for him to just 1 car in Q3. So here he is then, Esteban Ocon coming round the final corner on his final qualifying lap. Has he managed to improve? I don't believe he has done. Esteban Ocon, it's P9 at best. And when we fast forward and see where everybody else has gone, he may lose that. He's not. He's kept P9. We are in the fight this weekend for points, but it's not been the best qualifying session we've ever had. So it's Max Verstappen who's on pole position. He's topped every session in qualifying. Carlos Sainz in P2, the 2 title protagonists on the front row. Let's get to the strategy screen. So guys, we are going to split the strategy somewhat. The main reason behind that is because Esteban Ocon only has 1 set of fresh soft compound tyres. So he's going to start on that, then go on to 2 sets of mediums. Pierre Gasly has got a couple of sets. In fact, he's got 3 sets of soft compound tyres. Pierre Gasly is going to start on the softs, go on to the mediums, and then finish on the softs. Depending on tyre wear, we may change that a little bit. But with Pierre Gasly, we're pretty comfortable on his tyres. And as mentioned down in the comments, this is going to be the first episode where we are going to go very aggressive at the start in terms of the overtaking and defending to hopefully combat the AI. As mentioned down in the comments, I thank you so much for that information. So that's what we're going to be doing. But P9, P11, let's get to 5 red lights for the Spanish Grand Prix.
The stage is set here in Barcelona as we get ready for 66 laps of the Spanish Grand Prix. Here's a determined Sainz lining up on the grid.
A 2nd place start for them today. They'll be aiming for a podium, but could they even sneak the win?
This should certainly be a good one, folks. This is it. It's the Spanish Grand Prix. And it's lights out, and away we go.
And away we go, and straight away we have got Esteban Ocon attacking Fernando Alonso. As we stated, we are going to go attacking with the drivers early doors here. So high overtake and high aggression on both attacking and defending. So Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly But Esteban Ocon straight away attacking Lance Stroll. They are side by side, but it looks like Lance Stroll's just about got that position back now. But at the front, we can see Checo Perez got a fantastic start, and Max Verstappen is into the lead, but battling with Checo Perez. He's defending against Carlos Sainz on this first lap. Then comes Charles Leclerc in P4, Hamilton in P5, Russell P6, Alonso P7, Stroll P8, Ocon P9, Magnussen P10. It's not been the best of starts from our two guys, but holding formation early doors. It must be said, Lando Norris looking impeccably quick behind Esteban Ocon. But as we come towards the end or middle of lap 1, Max Verstappen is leading. Will he manage to break DRS? I'm not convinced he will do against these two Ferraris this season. And Esteban Ocon straight away losing a position to Kevin Magnussen. We don't seem to have the race pace of these Haas cars, and it's been a feature of our season that we have at times been in battles with him. And Kevin Magnussen there getting the inside line, really pushing aggressively and knocking Esteban Ocon down into P10. So not ideal for Esteban Ocon. Verstappen leads from Perez. Sometimes it's nice when it works out like this, but Kevin Magnussen has spun out in the Haas. Not ideal for him, but as you can see, that has really helped us with Ocon and Gasly going through. Ocon now up into P9. We haven't got the Haas to worry about, but we are now 2.7 seconds behind Lance Stroll, so very disappointing for him. We've used a little bit of ERS there as well. And Pierre Gasly was trying to keep in the DRS of Lando Norris, but hasn't managed to do it. Very, very disappointing, but as we come on to lap 3, Verstappen still leading, but Perez in hot pursuit, but Ocon P9 and Gasly P11. Huge moment on lap 6, and it is Carlos Sainz who has spun in the final sector. Very, very disappointing for Carlos Sainz at his home Grand Prix. That is going to cost him significant time and possibly even some points today. So Carlos Sainz all the way at the back, albeit in a very quick Ferrari, but that promotes us up into P9 and P10. Gasly is having to defend from the Williams, but at the moment just sat behind Esteban Ocon. But I do reckon one of the advantages of this car is our tyre wear. We do seem to be pretty decent on the tyre wear, as can be seen from the top guys. So Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon 9th and 10th, but not in the worst position in the world. Lap 6. Absolute tragic moment in this race for Esteban Ocon. He gets overtaken by Albon. He clips the inside of Albon's back right wheel. Albon goes off, as does Esteban Ocon. There's going to be the stewards here. That could be referred to the stewards, but Esteban Ocon has got a damaged front wing, and now it is very, very far back. He's going to have to make a pit stop. He's lost 9 positions, and Esteban Ocon, it's very, very disappointing. We're going to get him in very shortly, and he's also got a 5-second time penalty for causing a collision with Alexander Albon. Meanwhile, it looks like we've had another crash on circuit. Let's see if this is Kevin Magnussen. We've just seen the Haas of Kevin Magnussen spun out in front of us. He's collided with the Alfa Romeo. And to be fair, that is something that wasn't on last year's game, so it's nice to see, but it's not nice to see when it's one of your drivers. Lap 12. Disappointment for Ocon. So on lap 12, as noted, Esteban Ocon is into the pits. He's coming in for a wing change, and he's going to be going on to the medium set of compound tyres. Then we can go hards to the end after that. So he's in. He's got a 5-second penalty to serve as well, and a front wing change. This is not ideal at all for Esteban Ocon. This could be possibly one of the longest stops of the season. What's this going to come out at? About, what, 14 seconds? 13.5. He's back out onto the circuit, and he's stone dead last. Esteban Ocon needs a very well-timed safety car now if he's going to get anything out of this race. So all our hopes rely on Pierre Gasly, who currently is 2.9 seconds behind Lando Norris, but 2.7 seconds in front of Valtteri Bottas. Remember, Pierre Gasly has got sets of soft compound tyres to utilise, and we will be utilising them, I can tell you that. We may as well have a rundown of the top 10. Max Verstappen is leading the way, 0.6 of a second for Checo Perez, who is hanging on to him rather beautifully in P2. And then it's the Red Bulls in a league of their own, because Charles Leclerc, who's not been the fastest Ferrari this season, is a further 7.5 seconds back from the two Red Bulls. Then comes Hamilton, Russell, Alonso and Stroll, Norris, Gasly and Valtteri Bottas. Lap 13, Esteban Ocon in the mud. 14, once again, we've got cars colliding, and this time it's the Williams of Logan Sargent and Oscar Piastri. A lot happening while overtakes are happening. It's a beautiful swerve back on Asset from Logan Sargent. But Carlos Sainz is very, very fortunate not to get held up in that. So there we go then, more penalties, more crashes. Pierre Gasly is still in P9, but unfortunately, these collisions are not happening in front of us. So Pierre Gasly is going to have to play this strategy beautifully even to get further than P9, lap 14. Lap 20, few laps earlier than expected, but Pierre Gasly is in because I reckon we've got him a nice gap to come out and use the tyres in. So we may now switch to a soft, medium, soft for Pierre Gasly. We don't want any errors here from the pit crew. Let's make sure we don't. It's not a bad stop, 2.6 seconds. We will take that every day of the week. And Pierre Gasly is back out on circuit as there is a yellow flag. Please tell me we have not called him in and there's a safety car. It doesn't look like we have. Kevin Magnussen, we'll have a look at this incident. Looks like he's locked up into turn 17. Magnussen's not having a very good day, it must be said. He's got a damaged front wing, as we can see. And yeah, it's looking pretty uncontrollable at this moment. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly comes back out in P10. He's got a Haas of Hulkenberg behind him. If we just have a look at the tyres, he's got dead mediums. We don't expect him to be anywhere near us now. And Pierre Gasly can get cracking on these medium compounder tyres. But a little bit of warm-up. Meanwhile, we'll check in on Esteban Ocon because Esteban Ocon is running down in P18. He's battling with Zhou Guanyu. He's on the mediums, he's on the hards. And Zhou Guanyu looks like he's just managed to get past him there. He's managing to not get into any sort of wars at this moment now. But he has got DRS down this straight. But my God, look at that Ferrari. Is that Charles Leclerc? That is Charles Leclerc. I mean, he's let him go, but my word, the DRS on that Ferrari, it looked absolutely rapid. Meanwhile, Pierre Gasly doing his absolute utmost to get these tyres up to temperature. Lap 21. And on lap 22, Ocon overtaking Zhou. We're going to take a quick look at that now. Not too much importance in terms of points, but with DRS, Esteban is past Zhou Guanyu even, but Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, Lando Norris, the tyre warm-up, coming out to the pits on those mediums. Pierre Gasly's tyres are warm and he is feeling red hot. We've managed to, the undercut has worked absolutely amazingly. It's pulled back nearly 3 seconds to Norris and we've managed to overtake. We're up into P8, Russell's in the pits. He's going to be well clear, but P8 for Pierre Gasly, he's going to be very, very happy with that. Lap 22. Lap 28, join us back. Lewis Hamilton has had a little bit of a moment going into turn 1. It's quite a decent braking zone, but locked up and has managed to just about keep it out of the wall. Lewis Hamilton skidding out there into turn 1 and he's dropped a fair bit of positions for that. He's still in P5 but dropped a lot of time. Russell's now on the back of him. Look how close us and Norris are to Lance Stroll. 3.2 seconds. He's on the hard compound tyre. We will be either on that or the mediums towards the end. We can see that little gaggle of cars in the background. Gasly's still leading it. He's exchanging positions with Lando Norris. It must be said that Carlos Sainz involved in this as well. And I'm not quite sure what that Haas is doing. I'm assuming that's the Haas of Kevin Magnussen that's just done Pierre Gasly an absolute stonking favour by holding up the other cars, and now Pierre Gasly is 1.6 seconds to Lando Norris. Kevin Magnussen, I can see having a little word with the stewards later on with that. Lap 30, and you can see Carlos Sainz overtaking Pierre Gasly. He's in a very, very quick car in that Ferrari, it must be said. He gets the job done, but as he gets around that corner, does get into position. Pierre Gasly does just keep alongside him for a little bit, but then does get DRS down the start-finish straight, which is where we pick it up. And Pierre Gasly fighting away with Carlos Sainz, possibly not the brightest move in the world. If he can just let Carlos Sainz get on with it, we can probably tag onto him here, and we don't need Lando Norris catching us up either. So Pierre Gasly still fighting with the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz on lap 30. Gasly's now got his nose back in front, but Sainz has got the inside line into this corner. Pierre Gasly once again, hopefully now, can just sit in with Pierre Gasly, use the Ferrari's pace and get up towards the higher echelons of this grid. There's still a long way to go in this one. Lap 31, pit window is open for Esteban Ocon, who will be going onto the hards towards the end of this race. He'll be going onto the hards in a few laps' time. Pierre Gasly, though, has got the DRS on Carlos Sainz, and this is all he needs to do now. Just hang on to Carlos Sainz, and we shall go from there. Lap 31. We have a competitor spin just as Esteban Ocon is into the pit lane. We're going to have to watch this one, though, because Charles Leclerc was in the running for a podium. Let's have a little look at what he's managed to do here. Is that into turn 1? I believe it is. We've had a couple of drivers go wrong there, and Ferrari are not having the greatest day ever. But Esteban Ocon into the pits. He's onto the hard compounder tyre. It's a problem for the pit stop. It's a big problem. And it's a 6.6 second stop. When it is not your day, it is not your day. And Esteban Ocon is certainly not having that. It must be said as well, we are concentrating very heavily on the pit stops and the removal of errors at the moment. So Esteban Ocon will be very disappointed with that. But let's hope we've got it out of his system, because Pierre Gasly is playing a blinder here, just sticking behind Carlos Sainz. And then towards the end, we have got to go back onto the soft compound tyres. But he's playing an absolute blinder, just sticking in that DRS of that Ferrari. That much quicker Ferrari may guarantee us a decent points paying position here today. Just a quick rundown. Verstappen is still leading. We've still got a lot of cars with a couple of pit stops to go. So Verstappen, Perez, Leclerc, even with that spin, still is 9.4 seconds ahead of Fernando Alonso. Then comes George Russell and Lewis Hamilton, who we saw have a little mistake earlier on. Stroll in P7, Sainz in P8. It's been a good recovery from him. Then comes Gasly, Norris and Yuki Tsunoda, lap 36. We have definitely got a few cars spinning out today, and George Russell is the next one. Lewis Hamilton had a problem, and now George Russell has. Crikey, says George Russell. Crikey indeed. He's now down, and he's coming into the pits. Is Lewis Hamilton. Pierre Gasly is stuck behind this Williams, which shouldn't even be in our way because we're far in front of him. But we are not managing to get past him. I'm hoping Pierre is going to get past him here. Let's have a little look as he gets DRS down this straight. We'll ride on board from the visor cam. And Pierre Gasly, that Williams is particularly quick in a straight line. Fernando Alonso has pit. But now Pierre Gasly is past the Williams. Thank goodness for that. Lap 38. Lap 42, just to bring you back in, Carlos Sainz has pit. He's gone on to the medium compounder tyre as Carlos Sainz. Remember, we're going to be on the softs towards the end, so will we be quicker than the Ferrari? I really doubt it, but it's a nice thought. Max Verstappen sets the new fastest lap of the Grand Prix. Just as that happens, if we just have a look, he's on a very much used set of hard compound tyres now. Gasly just in the middle of nowhere at the minute, just driving his own race. You can see his teammate behind him. How depressing will that be for Esteban Ocon, who can see Pierre Gasly in front of him, but he's a lap down on him. Very, very disappointing. But lap 43, we are expecting Gasly's pit window. If you just bring it to the strategy screen, probably in around, what, maybe sort of 6-7 laps time, it will be time for Pierre to pit. We discussed a few minutes ago when it's not your day, it's not your day. Well, just watch what Esteban Ocon's done here. Whoops-a-daisy. Esteban Ocon is not having a good day. Pierre Gasly had a little bit of a giggle on the radio, which isn't ideal. But Pierre Gasly will be in this lap for the soft compound tyre. And then it really is hammer time for Pierre. So lap 46, we may stretch him one more lap. But Pierre Gasly will be in very, very shortly. And here he is then. Pierre Gasly is in the box. And let's see what happens here, because Pierre Gasly has been the man to really carry this team today. Esteban Ocon's not had the best of Grand Prix. Where is he going to come out? I'm hoping he's going to come out in front of this gaggle of cars of Tsunoda and Bottas. We've got a decent stop in. Where is Tsunoda? Tsunoda's coming around the final corner. Gasly's well in. And now he can get these tyres up to temperature and start using them. Tsunoda's coming down the start-finish straight. Gasly's not quite coming out yet. And Tsunoda is in front. I thought we'd be clear of Tsunoda, but Gasly now on the soft compound tyre has got these to the end, and he's on the quicker compound of tyres. So it's all up to Pierre now to get this motor in and really get moving now. Lap 48. Pierre Gasly just negotiating a back mark, you can see on screen, but Lando Norris is 13 seconds back from Pierre Gasly, so it's pretty much job done unless there's a safety car. But 16 laps to go. We've had a few incidents. Leclerc's just coming out of the pit lane. Is he going to get out in front of Fernando Alonso? I believe he is. It's job done there for Charles Leclerc. Decent from the Ferrari team. Just having a look at the top. Both Red Bulls have pit, but there is a 16-second gap between Verstappen and Perez. Don't ever say that this game isn't realistic. Lap 50. It's got to be said, ladies and gentlemen, that this is possibly one of the most dominant displays from a driver I have seen so far on this game. Max Verstappen is coming around the final corner, 12 seconds in front of Sergio Perez. If we just have a look at the leader, Pierre Gasly is the first driver who is a lap down on Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen crosses the line and he wins the Spanish Grand Prix. Perez is going to come home in P2. We'll just join Pierre Gasly as he's driving through at this moment in time. And Pierre Gasly is going to be the first one to cross the line, I believe, a lap down P9 for Pierre Gasly. We score points again. It's not been a bad day for Pierre Gasly. I know, guys, I know. P9, I get it. There's been a lot of P9s, but at the end of the day, it's better than P10 and P11. So remember that. He's enjoying what we're doing. Esteban Ocon, what more can we say?
16, unfortunately. It's alright. We'll bounce back.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing. We will get there.
Well, Esteban Ocon says we'll keep pushing. His race engineer was pretty fair with him there, it must be said. But let's get to the podium scenes now. Difficult day for Esteban, but more points for the team.
Now Esteban Ocon won't be in a hurry to talk about that race today.
Well, I think most people expected them to really deliver here, but it's a disappointing finish outside the points.
Well, Max Verstappen can add yet another podium to his already impressive record.
Win number 5 is in the bag. They pulled out all the stops, pushing hard to earn that victory.
And by the looks of things here in Barcelona, the party's only just beginning.
So there we have it, guys. It's another decent performance for Max Verstappen, who wins that one, and Carlos Sainz, being further back, will not be music to Ferrari's ears, but to be fair to him, it was a very, very good recovery. So as we saw, Max Verstappen wins from Perez, Leclerc in P3, it's another podium for Ferrari, Alonso P4, Sainz P5, Hamilton P6, then comes Stroll, Russell, Pierre got P9, and Lando Norris getting P10. Probably for driver of the day, maybe you're looking at Yuki Tsunoda gaining 6 positions. Well played from him, or maybe Fernando Alonso. At the back, there was a few cars with incidents. Magnussen, Sargent, Ocon, Zhou, and Piastri, all in that mould. Not a good day for Esteban. Driver standings-wise, Max Verstappen extends his lead at the top. It is now 45 points. We're getting quicker with the maths, ladies and gents. Sainz is in P2 still. He loses after a difficult day for him. Charles Leclerc P3 and Checo Perez in P4. Esteban Ocon stays in front of Pierre Gasly, but it's very, very close between our two drivers. Lando Norris gets a point. Zhou Guanyu, there's about 5 drivers, Yuki Tsunoda being one of them, who've yet to score a point. Constructor standings-wise, Red Bull are on top and extend their lead in this department as well. They are now 45 points in front. There we go again. Red Bull from Ferrari. Aston Martin didn't do themselves any harm today. 147 points, 47 points in front of Mercedes in P3. And then we are still in P5, gaining on our competitors. 25 points we are on. I hope you've enjoyed that one. Wasn't a bad Grand Prix for Pierre. We're getting there. We're still developing the car. We'll see you on the next one. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you later. Ta-ra!